Welcome back to the Deliberate Leaders Podcast. I'm Allison Dunn. And today I want to talk to you about something that almost nobody in the leadership space talks about honestly. It's not strategy, not systems, not hiring. It's the loneliness, specifically the kind of loneliness that doesn't just go away as you succeed, the kind that actually gets worse. If you're a founder, a CEO, or a senior executive who has been building something for a while, I think this one is going to land. So let's dive in. Here's the thing that nobody prepares you for when you're building a company. In the early days, there's an intimacy to it. You're in the trenches with the team, everyone's fighting the same battle, celebrating the same small wins, grinding through the same hard weeks. The gap between you and the people around you is narrow. You're all fighting it out together, and that togetherness, that sense of shared struggle, it feels like the culture. It feels like the thing you're building, and in a lot of ways, it is. Then you scale and something shifts. Quietly, gradually, and in ways that are actually hard to name while they're happening. The gap between you and everyone else starts to widen. Your team begins managing up instead of leveling with you. People stop telling you the truth in the room. Meetings develop two layers, the public one, where everyone is aligned and on message, and then the private one, where what people actually think gets processed somewhere you're not. You become a symbol inside of your own company, and that is a profoundly isolating thing to experience, especially when from the outside, everything looks like it's going well. So here's what makes this particularly hard to talk about. The narrative around success doesn't leave much room for loneliness. We celebrate the milestones, we talk about growth and scale, and building something meaningful, and all of that is real. The experience of leading at that level, the actual daily texture of it, is often something that leaders carry almost entirely alone. Because who do you talk to? You can't take your doubts to your team. You're the person they're looking to for certainty. Showing up uncertain or overwhelmed or genuinely unsure of the next move, that changes the dynamic in ways that can be very costly. You can't fully unpack it with your board or your investors. They have their own agenda, their definition of success and what that looks like. Being too honest in those conversations carries its own risks. And then your family and your old friends. As much as they love you, they are relating to the version of you that existed before the company, before the complexity, and before the weight of this. So most leaders do what they've always done when things get hard. They push through. They keep moving. They add it to the list of things they're managing alone, and the loneliness compounds. So here's what I really want you to hear, because this is the part that matters most. The loneliness isn't just uncomfortable. It's expensive. When you're carrying the weight of leadership without the right support around you, it changes the quality of your thinking. It narrows your field of vision. It makes you more reactive, because when you're holding everything alone, every setback lands harder. Every decision feels like higher stakes than it might actually be. And over time, it makes you less honest with yourself. One of the things that honest peers do, peers being people who are building at the same level and have no agenda in your outcome, is holding up a mirror. They reflect back what they're seeing. They ask the question you've been avoiding. They name the thing that's been sitting in the room that nobody inside of your organization is in the position to say. Without that, the stories that you tell yourself about what's happening, about why things are the way that they are, and about what needs to change, go unexamined. They harden into certainties, and certainties that go unexamined are exactly where leadership blind spots live. I want to be really clear about something before I close. If you recognize yourself in any of this, this is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is not a sign that you're not cut out for this level of leadership. It is the occupational condition of building something that matters. The loneliness that comes with real leadership, with real accountability, and with being the person everyone else looks to, that is part of the terrain. It does not mean you're doing it wrong. It means you need to be intentional about how you navigate it. Leaders who break through this aren't the ones who somehow become immune to the isolation. They're the ones who stop trying to carry it alone. They find peers, people who are building at the same altitude, people who can tell them they're wrong without flinching, people who have no agenda except the truth. And that changes everything. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Think about the last time someone told you something genuinely hard to hear. Not just a complaint, not feedback filtered through HR, something real, something that cost them a little bit of courage to say. When was that? If you're struggling to remember, that's worth sitting with. Not because it means you're doing it wrong or something is wrong, but because it might mean that the people around you have learned one way or another that honesty isn't fully safe here. And if that's true, the solution isn't to demand more honesty from people inside your organization. It is to build the kind of relationships outside of it where honesty doesn't have to cost anyone anything. That's what we're going to keep exploring in this series. If this resonates with you, this is the exact kind of thinking I go deeper in on my book, Think First. It's built around 5 strategic thinking habits that help you see more clearly, decide more deliberately, and lead with more intention at every level and every stage of growth. You can grab your copy at Deliberate Directions /Think First. I will also place the link in the show notes. Our next episode, I'm going to be talking about exactly why your team stopped telling you the truth as you scale and what actually is driving that. Until then, think first and lead deliberately.